Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there, not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.
Hey everybody, God bless you. Welcome again to the Crystal Jones Show, the show that's all about life's balance. I'm your talk show host, Crystal Jones. I'm glad for you all to tune in again. It's another week. Thank God we made it. We're looking forward to hopefully more warmer weather, as some of us like. I do like warmer weather. And, thankfully we're making it through everything that's going on in the world today. Don't forget, join in, check out my show every Sunday. Catch me weekly at BronxNet Optimum 68 and FiOS 2134 at 2:30 p.m. You could go to bronxnet.org in order to catch my show. All right. Also, you could catch me on YouTube and Facebook at the Crystal Jones TV Show. Make sure you type that in again so that you'll, definitely come up on my name because like I said, my name is common, so there are a lot of other Crystal Joneses, but Crystal Jones TV Show would take you right there. Also, catch me on Instagram and at the Crystal Jones Show, and you could also always email me at thecrystaljoneshow@gmail.com for questions or whatever you want to be a guest on the show. Whatever it is, you can reach me there. Okay, so let's start off with in the news. Now, today's news is pretty crazy. I thought this was a little nuts for someone who's an older person. Now, you have a fire chief who, and I believe he's from, North Carolina. He wrote on his Facebook April 22nd, after the deputy-involved shooting of a black man, Andrew Brown Jr., in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. He wrote to them. Now, this is an older gentleman. He wrote on Facebook, "Dear police, stop responding to these black neighborhoods. They will eventually kill each other and the fake news won't have a story." Wow. Okay. Now, for somebody to be in charge, do you see what I'm saying? This is where this white supremacy has got to stop. And I'm going to use my platform to let them know I see you and we see you and you need to stop the foolery. Now, he did say he was sorry. I did see a video of him saying he wants us to heal together and all this stuff. Okay. Now, in my opinion, I think a lot of people, when they get caught like that what it is that, let's be real, people don't want to lose their pension. Okay. Because this man is an older gentleman and really he had no business saying something like that, right? That we would kill each other. Like, isn't that going on in a lot of different neighborhoods, whether you're black, white, or whatever, right? You have all these different things going on. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. We do have a black police force. That works a lot better because I don't hear of our young people getting shot and killed for no reason. Okay, when I'm coming home from work, I don't have to worry about them rolling up on me because I'm black, and we also have peace officers. So if something goes on, first people you're going to see on the scene, because this is a big development with co-ops and townhomes, you're going to see the peace officers. They're going to come and try to find out what's going on, who are black people. They're black officers. So I'm going to feel a little more comfortable with talking to another black person because I'm not going to feel that they want to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, yes, I do feel that each, group of people should probably have their own policing because it does work better for our neighborhood. Anytime something goes on, the first people you're going to see is the peace officers. Peace. Then if it escalates, which it normally doesn't, because the peace officers are usually pretty good with, putting out the fires. All right. So that I agree with, but he had no business saying that we're going to kill each other. I mean, who was he? Don't they have stuff that goes on in white neighborhoods where white people kill each other? So speak out against this foolishness, y'all. If you're a preacher, you're a pastor or whatever, people are looking for us to say, no, that's wrong. Stop the nonsense. Okay. Now I'm going to go to a film because I want you to see how Black neighborhoods are progressing, growing, and have been. All right. There's not just some one Black Wall Street going on. We have plenty of neighborhoods that are doing well. All right. So we're going to go to that film now.
Top 10 wealthiest African American neighborhoods. Welcome to blackexcellist.com, the site where we celebrate Black excellence, opulence, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you. Hello and welcome back. In this Black Excellist presentation, we will highlight the top 10 wealthiest African American neighborhoods. African American neighborhoods or Black communities are types of ethnic enclaves found in many cities in the United States. Since the 1960s, the Black middle class has grown tremendously. African Americans have become more educated and have moved into corporate America and professional jobs. No longer isolated and identified by skin tone, many African Americans developed their own Black upper middle class neighborhoods. Wealthy African American homeowners have gravitated to these affluent neighborhoods in pursuit of lower crime rates, better schools, and neighbors who share their socioeconomic demographics. Today, we will take a look at communities that have higher than average populations of African Americans. These prestigious neighborhoods are where African Americans are succeeding in terms of income, home ownership, and academic achievement. Since this top 10 list highlights communities, we have selected predominantly Black neighborhoods with less than 30,000 people, and our researchers have factored basic indicators such as cost of living, economic equality, and livability. Some of the earliest African American neighborhoods were clustered in and around New York City, but we want to give a special shout out to Maryland. 7 of our top 10 richest Black communities are located in the Old Line State. In this original Black Excellist video, we will be featuring the wealthiest and most affluent Black communities across America. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 10, View Park, Windsor Hills, California. This large middle to upper class Black community comes in at the number 10 spot with an average family income of $83,000. View Park, Windsor Hills is part of a band of districts from Culver City's Fox Hills district on the west to the Los Angeles district of Leimert Park. The area is the single largest geographically middle and upper class Black community in the United States. Over half of the adults in View Park, Windsor Hills have earned a bachelor's degree from college. The median home value for View Park, Windsor is $553,000. Number 9, Lake Arbor, Maryland. Lake Arbor is a thriving African American community in Prince George's County, Maryland. The average family income for this town is $93,000. Lake Arbor has a population of 92% African Americans, safely landing it on our list of the wealthiest African American communities in the United States. Lake Arbor established Prince George's County as the most desirable destination for young, affluent African American families moving from Washington, D.C. for a suburban lifestyle. The median home value for Lake Arbor is $284,000. Number 8, Hillcrest, New York. This prosperous, middle-class African American community makes the top 10 list with a median family income of $94,000. Hillcrest is a middle-class Black community in New York with a 56% African American population. In the early 1900s, Hillcrest became a summer retreat for African American working-class families who would travel by train from New York City. Located in Rockland County, this area has not always been predominantly African American. In the 1990s, there was a dramatic demographic change as African American newcomers were lured from New York for lower taxes and greater real estate value. The median home value for Hillcrest is $358,000. Number 7. Friendly, Maryland. Friendly is a prosperous, upscale Black community that makes the top 10 list with a median family income of $103,000. Friendly is another affluent, predominantly Black neighborhood in Prince George's County, Maryland, with an African American makeup of 74%. Landing in at the number 7 spot, Friendly has the largest number of Black-owned businesses of any community on this list. The Friendly area was largely rural until about 1960 and has steadily grown with the emergence of multiple upscale single-family housing developments. The median home value for Friendly is $269,000. Number 6. Ladera Heights, California. This stunning community, located near beautiful beaches and nearby cities such as Hollywood and Los Angeles, ranks number 6 with an average family income of $103,000. Ladera Heights is an affluent Black prestigious community in the sunny state of California, where much of the area's appeal stems from the stunning views of the Pacific Ocean. Ladera's African American population stands at 71%. In addition to hillside houses, as well as its proximity to the beaches and Hollywood, over 50% of the community's adults have a 4-year college degree. This influential community is divided by Lower and Upper Ladera to distinguish old and new African American money in this area. Located near Culver City and also known as the Hidden Neighborhood, its residents remain low-key about their affluence. The median home value for Ladera Heights is $789,000. Number 5. Fort Washington, Maryland. This prosperous community is located just south of Washington, D.C., and has an average family income of $104,000. This little star fort down the Potomac River from Washington, D.C., was once the only defensive fort protecting the U.S. Capitol. Fort Washington is an upper middle-class Black community with a 68% African American population. Young professionals with families and college students predominantly live in Fort Washington. The median home value for Fort Washington is $305,000. Welcome again to blackexcellence.com. Please follow us on Instagram. Number 4. Brandywine, Maryland. Brandywine is recognized as one of the most flourishing African American cities in the United States, with a median family income of $118,000. This is another upscale, upper middle class community in Prince George's County, with 66% of its population being African American. This predominantly Black neighborhood is surrounded by parks and wildlife areas that make it feel like it's a world apart from nearby Washington, D.C. The median home value for Brandywine is $315,000. Number 3. Mitchellville, Maryland. This upper middle class community has an average family income of $121,000. It has a makeup of 84% African Americans and can boast of its excellent schools and a high school graduation rate of 80%. Most Mitchellville students go on to colleges like nearby Johns Hopkins University, Georgetown University, and the U.S. Naval Academy. Mitchellville, too, is a prosperous African American gated community in Prince George's County in Maryland. Residents of Mitchellville take tremendous pride in their friendly community and beautiful homes. The median home value for Mitchellville is $327,000. Number 2. Rosaryville, Maryland. This upper middle class community is another neighborhood within Prince George's County with an average family income of $117,000. It has a makeup of 80% African Americans. With its close proximity to Washington, D.C., Rosaryville has access to many arts and entertainment venues, such as museums, performing arts spots, golfing, as well as nightlife activities. Rosaryville's story is emblematic of the socioeconomic and demographic evolution of Prince George's County that occurred in the mid-1980s. Against the strong resistance of many large national builders who perceived Prince George's County as a cheap retreat for urban African Americans who couldn't afford upscale amenities for their homes, Black buyers rushed to embrace elaborate features such as two-car garages, brick, and lush landscaping. The median home value for Rosaryville is $300,000. Number 1. Woodmore, Maryland. Rounding off our list at the number 1 spot is a prosperous upscale community in, yes, you guessed it, Prince George's County, Maryland. As with all of the Prince George communities on our top 10 list, Woodmore is an ideal location for first-time buyers, young families, as well as professionals who work in Washington, D.C. This prestigious community is 84% African American and has a median family income of $140,000. Woodmore is an affluent African American gated community centered on a private country club and golf course, the Country Club at Woodmore. The golf course was designed by Arnold Palmer. Home values in Woodmore are among the highest in the state of Maryland, demonstrating both the sophisticated tastes and buying power of the predominantly African American market. It is one of the most well-educated cities in the U.S., where 58% of adults have earned a bachelor's degree from college. Woodmore is home to the popular amusement park Six Flags America. The median home value for Woodmore is $398,000.
This place that I call.
I want to explain it to her.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Okay, so we see that our people are moving on as we always have done. Before we came here, we were moving on, building kingdoms and different things like that. This is the reason why Egypt didn't die in the famine, is because our people, were doing things, were showing people things, where we were very creative in developing ways for, communities to survive and thrive and things like that. Okay. So even in Europe, at one time, which they call the Dark Ages, guess why? Because we ruled Europe at one point in time for about 700 years. Okay. So during that time, we taught people in Europe about cleanliness, about bathing and different things like that. You have different white Europeans that talk about that today. They'll tell you they don't understand why these people are so against us, because we did bring forth a lot of good within the European countries. So same thing, we're over here. We've done a lot of things that we don't get credit for. We just get somebody talking crazy stuff about all we do is kill each other. But they don't, do you know every black person? No, you don't. Just like I don't know every white person, right? So we have to not pay attention to that mess. All right, now we have our missing and exploited children. We have the first one that we have is Joseph Langell. He is missing since April the 23rd of this year. He's missing from Syosset, New York. All right, he's 17 years old. He's a black male. He has brown hair color, brown eye color. He's about 5'11". He weighs 159 pounds. Okay, he is missing. Please, if you see him, please report this to the police, your local police station. Let them know, especially if you live in Syosset. But he's been missing, so let's help out that family and find out where he is. The next person that we have, I believe, is Patience Divine. Is that her? Yes. Okay, let's go to Patience Divine. She's been missing since April the 6th of this year. She's missing from Rochester, New York. She's 14 years old. She's a black female, black hair color. Her eyes are brown. She's about 5'5", and her weight is 140 pounds. Okay, and her name is Patience Divine. So please, if you see her or you know anything about her missing, please get in touch with the police so that her family can be reunited with her. Okay, the last one I have is Nia Aponte. I believe she's been missing since April the 16th, I believe. Yeah, she's been missing since April the 16th of uh, this year. I'm sorry, her information is not coming up. Hopefully, maybe, let me see what's going on. Why is it not coming up? Yeah, I'm sorry, the information is not pulling up. All right. Hopefully, she will be found, but she's been missing since that time and period. If you know anything about it, please get that information to your local police department that she was on the list of the missing and exploited children. All right. All right. Now we're going to have a spotlight on our youth today. As you know, we always do here. Lately, we've been putting spotlight on our youth. And the spotlight today is on Maya Penn. Okay. She has a page called Maya's Ideas, where ideas come to life. Okay. Maya is an award-winning slow fashion brand creating eco-friendly, artisan crafted accessories, clothing, and art made from organic, recycled, and vintage materials. She is now 21 years old. She is an environmental activist, an artist, and a three-time TED speaker, TED, you know what that is. Maya Penn founded the brand at just 8 years old. She founded this brand at 8 years old from a passion for art and design and a drive to tackle fast fashion and its effects on the environment. So we give a shout out to Maya Penn. Girl, you go, you do your thing. We're happy for you. Spotlight on our youth. Yes, the Black youth. We are trying to encourage our youth to continue and making your inventions. You're great people. You came from greatness, and y'all better continue in this greatness. I'm proud of you, and keep moving forward. All right. Okay. So that being said, let's see. Um, the next portion that we're going to go to is, I believe we're going to health and wellness, right? We're going to our health and wellness. Within the health and wellness, I wanted to just let you all know, continue to use natural products, because our people, especially, a lot of time we use different products that are not good for like our hair. You know, you can use those butters and things like that for your hair. Shea butter is good for your hair. Aloe vera, whether you use the aloe vera butter, the aloe vera oil, all of the different oils and butters and things can be used for that. The argan oil, I use argan oil sometime in my hair too, or I combine a lot of things. I combine the aloe vera, the argan oil. Sometimes I, put shea butter on in my hair and whatnot, stuff like that. So use those things, because some of these other products, I'm gonna tell you, it takes your hair out. Our hair has to be oiled, pretty, we have to make sure our hair is oiled. All right. And it depends on, the oils that we use and things like that. So use the different oils that they have, the shea butter oil, the argan oil, the aloe vera oil. You can even go to YouTube and look up some of those, videos where you have a lot of Black women and Black men that will show you different things to use on your hair. Because like with aloe, you could use the plant and they'll show you how to cut it up and wash your hair with it and put it in your hair, that type of thing. And yes, it is good for us to have our hair natural. I know there's a problem with that sometimes in some of these workplaces, but nevertheless, stand firm. If you wear your hair in an afro, wear your hair in an afro. If you wear your hair in braids, I'm wearing my hair in braids. Some weeks I wear afro, some weeks y'all know me, every week I change my hair pretty much. So I wear my hair braids, I wear my hair in afro. I don't perm my hair anymore. That stuff was taking my hair out. That came from when we came over here. A lot of our people were trying to conform to how white people do their hair. That's their thing. That may work for their hair. I don't know, but it don't work for our hair. It usually winds up pulling your hair out by the time you're, like in your 40s or 50s. You start seeing your hair really, fall out and stuff like that. So I would advise you to use the natural products, the butters, the oils, that type of thing. Use that on your hair, okay? Hair care for us is very important. Don't use anything that's, too, even with us doing the braids and stuff like that, make sure stuff is not like too tight. Because that'll put, when you take your braids out and stuff like that, your hair will come out in clumps. So don't do that, please. We have to take special care of our hair. All right. Okay. So the next thing we're going to go to, we have our business tips. The tip that I want to give you is start now. Start now. Start your brand now. Start thinking about what you represent. What does your company that you want to bring about? What does it represent? Don't wait. Don't delay. Sit down and think, what do I do best? If it's a variety of things, that's fine. You may be into music, but you also, are kind of arts and craftsy. You may, some people make shirts like this and whatnot, but your main thing is what you want to really basically speak out for you. For me, I like doing television, because it gives me the opportunity to teach. I'm a person that's a teacher. I like to teach about our culture. I like to teach about who we are. So my platform is television, right? So you need to find out what's your platform. What is it that you want to do, and you can get a television show too. It's very easy to start doing something like that as well, but start now. Start knowing what it is that you want to do. If you want to teach, what do you want to teach? What are you good at? I'm good at Bible studies and knowing the history of the Bible and getting people to understand who we are in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So that's my gift. That's my calling. That's my talent. What is your gift and calling? That is probably what's going to be your business brand. Now, other things than that, like I said, you may like cooking and things like I do. I like cooking and stuff like that, right? So I can eventually bring that to the television forefront. I could, start a show that has recipes and stuff like that. I also like acting and things like that. So, I could go on and on about different things that I like to do or can do. Many of you know I'm in the, I've been in the arts and stuff like that. I've done off-Broadway plays and all of that kind of thing. So, there are many things that I could do, but I know my love is teaching, and I love teaching as far as television is concerned. So that's why my company is Balanced Life Productions and Events. So whatever your brand is, that's what you got to do. Whatever it is, do it, and do it now. Don't delay. Use your platform to encourage your people like I do. Every week you see me on here, I'm trying to encourage my people. Come on, y'all, let's get it together. Let's do the things that we got to do. We got to build our communities. You saw the video of all of the Black Excellence lists. That's not around the world. That's just in a certain part of America. But we have, there are other states where we have up and coming Black communities. So we no longer are limited to just, Black Wall Street. No, we have many communities. I live in one of them, and I'm telling you, these things work. Having our own policing and stuff like that. So let's get together and let's build our communities. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our teaching for the week. And we've been doing a lot of teaching of when our people came out of Egypt, right? So when we came out of Egypt, of course, the lesson was getting Egypt out of Israel, right? So basically, what was that all about? Getting Egypt out of Israel. That meant that while we were in Egypt, some of us picked up some of those ways that they had. They're serving up idol gods and things like that. And it showed when we got in the wilderness. That's why God took us through the wilderness experience, so that we would see that he had to shake us of all of that. And what should have been a 3-day journey, because that's what it was supposed to be. It was only supposed to take us about 3 days to get through the wilderness to get to Canaan, because God had removed the Canaanites and whatnot from their land. They were the land of the giants, the Nephilim and all of that. I've talked to you about the Nephilim. They came through the fallen angels with Azazel and them, who decided that they no longer wanted to do what God told them to be, which was the watchers. They were supposed to be watching the people, but they were watching the women. Okay. And they decided to marry them and have kids with them. And God said, I didn't create this mess. So there were giants in the land, and those giants were cannibals. They were eating people, and all of that kind of crazy stuff, right? So those people had settled in the land of Canaan, which is today's Israel. It's a very a land where you had the Garden of Eden and all these different rivers flowing through this land that God was giving us when we came out of Egypt. But some of our people were still caught up in the traditions of the Egyptians. The Egyptians served idol gods. So God had to shake us of all of that stuff. So our people winded up going through the wilderness for 40 years. All right. And the only people that made it out of that wilderness basically was Joshua and Caleb. All right. Because they followed the Lord fully and wholeheartedly. Right. So they were basically worshiping the golden calf. Right. So let's go to what the golden calf was all about. The worship of the golden calf, all right, it was a symbol and strength. It was a symbol of virility and strength associated with the Canaanite god El. So please put up the golden calf so they can see again. This is the foolery that our people were into. They actually followed these people to serve this golden calf. So let's look at what this golden calf looked like, right? So it was a symbol of virility and strength associated with the Canaanite god El, and such idolatry would persist into the period of the divided monarchy. King Jeroboam I of the northern kingdom of Israel commissioned 2 golden calves for the sanctuaries of the Lord in Bethel and Dan to serve the Lord's attendants. Now, some of our kings who were Jewish kings were godly kings. We had others like this guy. He was really, he was bugging, right? So he was from the northern kingdom of Israel. All right. That was the other 9 or 10 tribes, because the kingdom got split. We were from the southern kingdom. We were Judah, Levi, and I believe Benjamin, that followed wholeheartedly basically the laws and commandments of the Lord. But we were split. You had the northern kingdom and you had the southern kingdom. We were from the southern kingdom. All right. Now this northern kingdom, they had given into the surrounding nations and started serving all of these different idols, you know, because they wanted to be like the people. They even asked God for a king. You know, when they had the prophets and whatnot that were, you know, dealing with them and telling them what thus saith the Lord. But I don't know, I guess they figured they was too good for that. Right? So that's what happened. So now we're going to be going from Exodus, the 31st chapter, and, you know, just giving you an overview. So the Lord told them that they were to keep the Sabbath, because remember, at this point, the people were at the bottom of Mount Sinai, and Moses and the, you know, the men of God, the Levites and all that, they were at the top, and Moses was at the most top because God was talking to him, telling him, okay, follow, you know, the commandments I had given you before when you were up here. I gave it to you. I'm going to write them down. I want y'all to do this to the T. So because Moses took too long for the people, they, you know, started, you know, acting crazy. And they told Aaron that they don't see Moses. Where is he? What's become of him? So you had Aaron, who was supposed to be the head of the Levitical priesthood. He started listening to the people. So he told them to break off their golden earrings. This is in the 32nd chapter of Exodus. Which are in your ears. Break off the golden earrings from the ears that your wives and your sons and your daughters have, all the gold. Bring it to me. And Aaron decided he's going to create this golden calf, right? So the Lord saw this, you know, while he's talking to Moses. And he says, Moses, go get down there, for the people which you brought out of the land of Egypt, they've corrupted themselves. So now the Lord is so mad, he's saying, you know what, I think I'm just going to get rid of them because they're just very stiff-necked and hard-headed. But Moses said, no, Lord, please don't do this, because now the surrounding nations are going to say the Lord brought them out of Egypt just to kill them. And we're going to be the laughing stock of this land. So for Moses' sake, the Lord saved our people alive, right? But, of course, the rebellion, you know, continued on even unto this day. We have our people that don't really understand the laws and commandments of the Lord, and they go into all these different religions and things that okay human sacrifice and sleeping with animals and all kind of crazy stuff that our people have latched onto that has nothing to do with the Lord, right? So now you have, Moses had asked the Lord, to, have mercy on us and whatnot. So now Moses is coming down, and he's, talking to the people. He's really, really upset. And so in Exodus 32:19, it came to pass as soon as he came nigh to the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger got hot, so much so that he threw the tablets down out of his hands. He's like, ugh. And he brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. He was like, you know what? Get it, drink it, stupid, drink it. He was just really pissed off with the people, right? And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto you, that you brought so great a sin upon them? Like, you're supposed to be in charge, Aaron. And what did they do to convince you to do something so silly, to make a golden calf as a god? And Aaron said, don't let your anger be wax upon me. You know the people. You know that they're set to mischief. So now you're going to blame the people, right? Like in the Garden of Eden. Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed us, the serpent, right? So now Aaron is blaming the people. He said, for they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what's become of him. Now he's up there in the mount. They know he was up there in the mount. They just wanted to act silly and act like they just couldn't wait. You know, that this was something that they know they've been through before, where the Lord spoke to Moses. And I mean, come on, right? So, and I said to them, whosoever have any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And Moses saw that the people were naked. So see, this included all of this, sexual foolery that these people were into. For Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies. What a dumb thing to do, right? Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who's on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. So Moses was like, listen, if you ain't on the Lord's side, step, get to stepping, go over there. Who's on the Lord's side? Come with me. And all the sons of Levi, the Levites, they gathered themselves unto Moses. And he said to them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day 3,000 men. For Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, and every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, you've sinned a great sin. And now I will go up unto the people, peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. Right? And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold. So Moses is reporting back to God what's going on. Yet now you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book which thou hast written. In other words, he's so upset. He's like, man, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not, they not feeling me. I don't know. And the Lord said to Moses, whoever have sinned against me, him I will blot out of my book. Like, don't worry, I'm not going to lay it to your charge. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken to you of. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I'm going to visit their sin upon them. And the Lord plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made, right? And the Lord said unto Moses, depart and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land that I swear to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying unto your seed, I will give it. Like, I'm taking you somewhere. I promised this to who? I promised this to your forefathers. I told them I was going to do this thing, but y'all are acting really silly. So I still got something that I promised in this this must happen. So I'm going to read to you a little bit again from Babylon to Timbuktu, where it talks about who the people are. All right. So now they're naming the different rivers that ran through the valley, the area where God was taking our people. And so they're naming in this the third and the fourth river. The name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is which go toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Commentators and scholars have identified the river Hiddekel. They say it is the Tigris River. Now, I shall cite Genesis 2:13. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia, right? Because the Garden of Eden is associated with the land of Ethiopia. That's what I'm trying to show you. The first Hebrews and the first people on the earth were black. Ethiopians are not white. They're black people. So Eden is within that area. It's in the land of Canaan. Part of it was in the land of Canaan and in the area of Ethiopia. All right. So at this point here, you have where white people did not even exist. And you know that they come from us. That's why our genes are dominant and theirs are recessive, because we're the only ones. We have the Eve gene in us. We're the only ones that could create the other nations of people, right? So because the Garden of Eden is associated with the land of Ethiopia, we can conclude that the people were what? Black, right? So you have, another historical writing that lets you know who the first people in the creation of man. We were created from the 7 layers of the earth, of the dirt. The dirt is black. So we may have lightened up because of the mixing in with the other nations. And remember, when Esau decided to go off and do his own thing, those people went to the areas of the Caucasus Mountains and all of that. So that's why they became like that real white, snowy white complexion. But they started off black, right? So that's why they call themselves Caucasians, because at one point they lived in the Caucasus Mountains, all right? So now you have, God is trying to bring us to the land he originally wanted for the Israelites that came out of Egypt, right? So he's trying to get these Egyptian ways out of us because they're against our belief system. They're against our God. We serve the God that created the heavens and the earth. He created everything in 6 days for us to enjoy the water, the fish, the land, and all of those things. But there are laws, just like if you go and you buy a house. In order for you to live very well in the area where you live, that land and all of that, you have to take care of that land. You can't just haphazardly we just let the grass grow. Every now and then we go and fish. You got to clean the area, the water, all of that stuff has to be taken care of. If not, you're going to destroy that area. So this is what happened to our people, not taking care of what God gave us, that we winded up in this situation that we're in. We're in a land and we've been scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. All right. You have the Spanish Inquisition. That was against the Black Jews. All right. You have what went on in Europe, the different things that happened. We were not only in slavery in America, y'all. Come on. We've been in so many slaveries, like about 12 different slaveries we've been in, because we did not obey our book, the biblical book, the Bible. That's the greatest Black history book that we have. It lets you know who we are. Even in the New Testament, it shows you that the first Christians or whatever, that group that was together, they call them Niger. Niger is Black, but they just put another G on it to make us feel bad, the way, they call our names and stuff like that. But the first Christians were Black people. All right. So you got to get into your history books and whatnot so that you know who you are. All right. And who the other people are, because for so long Christianity taught us so many lies that our history was whitewashed. And you have these different preachers that told us, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We all God's children. Oh, yes, we are. Then if we all God's children, why did y'all have us in slavery? Why did you treat us so bad because we're dark? Why do you still treat us bad? Why do you kill our people in the streets, where when a white man comes and he's done something, you wrestle him to the ground, he steals your patrol car, drives off, but you'll shoot our little babies 7 times in the back. You'll bust into our homes and see that there's nobody there, but hold little kids hostage on the ground and do drug busts, knowing that they only 7 and 10 years old, but you just hate us so bad. So we have to understand what we're going through. For the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. It's spiritual wickedness to whitewash someone's history. Even though the deeper they keep digging, the blacker it gets. But they still want to pretend like, no, y'all, no, we did everything. We created everything. They still want to patent all the things that we created here, right here in this country. They're taking credit for everything, saying that they created everything. We didn't do nothing. We just lazy people and all of that kind of stuff. But they patented our works. We were not even allowed to vote, to patent the things that we invented and whatnot. And they've taken credit for it, okay? And then they're definitely against any reparations or anything like that, even though we built the country for free, okay? But this is what got us here, not obeying God. Now we're here, until the time of our restoration, which is basically, we're going through the restoration period. Now you're seeing that we do have affluent Black communities and all of that, but we're not going to be here. We have to go back to our land eventually, but that's going to be when Christ comes and ushers us back into the land, because now that the land has been taken from us, that's an abomination. All right. So Christ has to clean that land out. It has to be sanctified again. The Bible says in Revelation, I saw a new heaven and a new earth coming down, prepared as a bride from God out of heaven. So he says, behold, I make all things new. So we're coming closer to that time now where Christ is going to return to the earth. All right. And when he returns, he's coming for business, because there's some people that is going to be that line drawn. Who's on the Lord's side, just like Moses did today? Who's on the Lord's side? So when Christ comes back, he's coming back against those who are against us. So because we're his people, we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. He set us up. He told Abraham, I'm going to make of you a nation of priests and kings. All right. So King David, the king that wrote the Bible, King James, all of these different King Solomon, all of these different kings that came from us. All right. So God is going to set up the New Jerusalem. We have to go back there because we don't belong here. We might have been born here and all of that kind of stuff. And everywhere where we've been enslaved and all of that, we basically made that place better, but we didn't get to benefit from it. So now we're going to start benefiting. We, started benefiting from it little, but, things are going to change over, because there's going to eventually be a changing of the guard, because these people cannot continue to rule the earth like this. This is why there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. Christ has no room for white supremacy or any supremacy for that matter. He set it up the way that it was from the beginning. We were supposed to be judging the fallen angels. That's what mankind really was made for. Now we got all out of control. We got all of these different races and peoples and all of this kind of stuff. But everything has to go back to the way it was, because there will be a judgment. There will be a judgment. There's going to be a judgment of people, and there's going to be a judgment of fallen angels. Because remember, Satan and his little crew, they got to get judged too. All right. So, I'm taking you through. This is what happened to our people. This is where we started, but this is also where we went off course. All right. So the Lord is telling them in this that he's going to wipe out, he's going to drive out the Canaanite and all of these people, so that we could have the land of Israel, which eventually, after that nation who didn't believe was gone, that new nation of Israelites went into the land and possessed it. With Joshua was the one that really brought us into Israel. Joshua and Caleb, they were Black people. So I'm trying to encourage our people that we have a heritage, but we have a responsibility. And you have the responsibility to awaken our people to who we are. We're not the jailbirds that they claim that we are, or like this police chief or whoever he is, or fire chief said, we'll let them kill each other. No, that's not who we are and what we're supposed to do. You know, so we got to look at what they're doing, pay attention, see what they're up to, because they're always trying to blame us for everything and put us in a dark light. All right. So we've got to make sure that we're ahead of that stuff, and that our children do not believe that. We have children that are doing awesomely well. Even our people that are in jail, a lot of them, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, they shouldn't even be there. They're in there for stupid stuff like they smoked weed or something, and so do white people. So what, right? But they put our people in for 5-10 years, you know, that kind of thing, to demonize them. All right. So anyway, we'll continue again next week. But thank you all for watching the show. Again, please watch the show on Sundays from on BronxNet. You could go to bronxnet.org, Optimum 68, Fios 2134 at 2:30 to 3:30. Also, YouTube. I always upload the shows after we film, and you could watch me on YouTube and Facebook. Also, you could write to me at thecrystaljonesshow@gmail.com, and you could check me out on Instagram at thecrystaljonesshow. All right, so God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. We look to see you again next week, and always you stay balanced.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Nice.
If you love them enough to do this, surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there.